In 1923, just 20 days apart, two boys were born who would grow up to become giants of Southeast Asia. One would build a nation, and the other a business empire. Lee Kuan Yew and Robert Kuok. Their lives, deeply shaped by the trauma of World War II, would be linked by their views and experiences with Japan. Their journeys reveal unique insights into a nation that has both inspired and troubled its neighbors in Asia. Through their stories, we glimpse a more complex and a better understanding of Japan than the one often portrayed in Western narratives. These two titans move from deep wartime resentment to pragmatic admiration, illustrating a journey from conflict to reconciliation. At the end of the video, there are 3 crucial lessons from their story that we can apply in our everyday lives. Chapter 1. The Shadow of War and Near-Death Experience. Lee Kuan Yew and Robert Kuok's early lives were set against the backdrop of British colonial rule in Malaya, a region that included modern-day Malaysia and Singapore. Both attended Raffles College in Singapore in 1941, where their paths crossed for the first time. However, their educations were abruptly interrupted by Japan's invasion during World War II. For both men, the war left a lasting impression. Japan's occupation of Malaya and Singapore between 1942 and 1945 was brutal, particularly for the Chinese population. Their memories of that time shaped how they would interact with Japan for decades to come. Chapter 2. Lee Kuan Yew's brush with death. Lee Kuan Yew, who would later become the founding father of Singapore, had a near brush with death during the Japanese occupation. In one of the most infamous atrocities of the war, the Sukching Massacre, the Japanese targeted Chinese men in Singapore. Between 25,000 and 50,000 Chinese men were killed. Lee Kuan Yew narrowly escaped execution. Hear this encounter from Lee himself.
10 days after the fall, we were told to collect ourselves in certain collection centers. So they said, go there. So I said, I have left my clothes behind. I did not feel good.
The gantry points were manned by Japanese soldiers, where they get all the young males together and register them, and some of them will be sent by lorries to be executed in the Sukching.
So I went back and stayed light low for a few days with my gardener. He had a laborer's quarters there, so I billeted myself with him. Well, I was lucky. Those who went on that lorry were taken to the beach and shot. Would have been.
But despite these painful experiences, Lee's views of Japan would evolve as his career progressed. Chapter 3. From Fear to Admiration. Lee Kuan Yew's feelings toward Japan underwent a significant transformation over time. Although his personal memories of Japan's occupation remained deeply etched in his mind, he recognized that Japan had become an economic powerhouse in the post-war period. As the prime minister of a young and developing Singapore, he saw the practical need for collaboration with Japan, especially in terms of investment, technology, and manufacturing expertise. In the 1960s and 1970s, Singapore was still struggling to industrialize. Lee realized that Japan's advanced industries, from electronics to automobile manufacturing, could provide the key to Singapore's economic development. His pragmatism led him to seek Japanese investment, despite the bitter memories of wartime atrocities. Chapter 4. Robert Kuok. From Resentment to Reconciliation. While Lee Kuan Yew's story is one of political strategists, Robert Kuok's journey with Japan is one of personal transformation. As the richest person in Malaysia, with a net worth exceeding 11 billion, Kuok's rise to prominence was tied closely to his interactions with Japan both during and after the war. During the Japanese occupation of Malaya, Kuok initially harbored deep resentment toward the invaders. However, his survival instinct led him to work for Mitsubishi, one of Japan's largest trading companies. At the young age of 20, Kuok was put in charge of Mitsubishi's rice department, a critical role that involved overseeing the entire rice trade in Japanese-occupied Malaya. While his position was born out of necessity rather than choice, the experience would prove invaluable. Kuok learned the intricacies of trade and business management from the Japanese, lessons he would later apply to build his own business empire. After the war, Kuok returned to the business world with a new set of skills and a network of connections. In the 1950s, he partnered with Mitsui, another major Japanese conglomerate, to establish a sugar refinery in Malaysia. This partnership would help him gain control of 80% of Malaysia's sugar market, earning him the nickname Sugar King of Asia. Kuok's relationship with Japanese businesses flourished in the post-war period as he recognized their integrity, discipline, and commitment to quality. Despite the painful memories of wartime occupation, Kuok found himself deeply admiring Japanese business practices and work ethics. Chapter 5. Modern Japan. Through their eyes. As both Lee and Kuok grew older, their views on Japan's future and role in the global order became more reflective. Kuan Yew saw Japan's future as being inseparably tied to its relationship with the United States and China. He believed that Japan's alliance with the U.S. was crucial to balancing China's growing influence in the region. However, he also warned that if U.S. influence declined, Japan might become a client state to China, a situation he viewed as potentially destabilizing. Lee also speculated that Japan might one day pursue nuclear weapons as a means of deterrence, a development he believed would introduce new tensions in the region. For Kuok, Japan remained a country of contrasts. Despite his initial resentment of the Japanese during the war, he eventually came to view Japan as his favorite holiday destination. He admired the honesty and hard work of the Japanese people, although he remained critical of the country's failure to fully confront its wartime past. Kuok often remarked that Japan had been misled by a handful of criminal-minded men during the war, a perspective that allowed him to reconcile his personal experiences with his admiration for Japanese culture and business acumen. Today, Japan faces many of the challenges that both Lee Kuan Yew and Robert Kuok foresaw. An aging population, resistance to immigration, gender inequality, and economic stagnation continue to pose significant hurdles for the country's future growth. However, both men also saw great potential in Japan's strengths, its technological innovation, cultural cohesion, work ethic, and excellence in manufacturing. They believed that with the right adjustments, Japan could continue to play a leading role in Asia and the world. The stories of Lee Kuan Yew and Robert Kuok serve as a powerful reminder that even the most traumatic experiences can give rise to progress and collaboration. Their journeys, marked by resilience, pragmatism, and reconciliation, offer timeless lessons on leadership and diplomacy. As Southeast Asia continues to evolve, their legacies stand as testaments to the power of transformation, both personal and national, and the importance of moving beyond the past to embrace future opportunities. Here are the 3 lessons that we can take from their dramatic Japanese occupation. Number 1. Practicality over emotion. Both Lee Kuan Yew and Robert Kuok experienced deep emotional trauma during the Japanese occupation. Yet they put aside personal feelings to pursue practical solutions for their countries and businesses. They understood that clinging to resentment would hold them back, while embracing pragmatism could lead to growth and success. When faced with difficult situations or conflicts, it's easy to get caught up in emotions. However, focusing on practical solutions rather than dwelling on anger or frustration can help you make better decisions and achieve long-term goals. Number 2. Adapt and learn from adversity. Both men adapted to their difficult experiences during World War II and used the lessons learned to build a better future. Instead of being defined by their suffering, they grew from it. Lee by building a strong nation, and Kuok by creating a business empire. They showed that hardships can be a source of strength and valuable insights. Life's challenges can feel overwhelming, but they often come with valuable lessons. By embracing adversity as an opportunity for growth and learning, you can come out stronger and more resilient, just as Lee and Kuok did. Number 3. Reconciliation leads to growth. Both leaders exemplified the power of reconciliation and cooperation. Despite their painful histories with Japan, they recognized that moving forward by working together with those who were once adversaries would lead to mutual success. This attitude of collaboration helped them build thriving careers and countries. Holding grudges or refusing to work with others because of past issues can limit your potential. Forgiveness and collaboration, even with those you've had conflicts with, can open up new opportunities for personal and professional growth. These lessons from Lee Kuan Yew and Robert Kuok's experiences teach us the importance of letting go of the past, adapting to challenges, and embracing practical solutions for a better future. Which lessons do you think apply to your life? Would you even work with Japan if you were them? Please leave your comment below. We would love to hear from you.
Thank you for making it this far. If you like this video, you might want to share it with a like-minded friend. Thank you, and as always, stay blessed.